Hello everyone, this is Mordenkaim, and I wanted to bring you a tutorial today. I am in the process of working on an adventure map, and I found the need for an item detection system that will be modular and relatively compact so I can use it in multiple places in the adventure map. So this is what I came up with. I'll do a basic fly around here. This is about a 4x4 circuit with a couple pieces sticking out. This is actually the fifth block, but and it's about 8 blocks tall, so it's not too bad. Should be fixable. Should be able to be fit into an adventure map pretty easily. And I've set up a little demonstration, which is the first thing we'll do, where I've set up 3 of them, and I've put them into a room where the player will be asked to insert 3 different item types to open this door. So I've got 3 of these modules, and they're powering these outputs, and once all 3 of these are on, that door will open. So these items could be obtained anyway. It could be a puzzle, it could be an adventure to get each of these items. There's all kinds of potential here. So this one wants red powder, so if we put red powder, that'll be redstone, right? So feed redstone in, light comes on, just like that. And then the yellow powder, we'll put glowstone dust, but let's try to trick the system. We'll put stone in there instead. This should fail. Put it in. It's not a simple item detector. It is actually intelligent enough to know what item you're putting in. And there's that. So let's put the right item in. Light comes on. And the third one, let's try to trick it with a different type of powder. Let's put red instead. You know, I got 2 reds, but I haven't gotten a gray yet. So let's put that in. And it shouldn't matter because it uses the item stacking mechanic. So it's going to be this item or nothing. And let's put the gray in like so. And the door opens. So something like that was what I was going for. And what I based this on was I found SethBling's video on the payment system, and I sort of altered that to my needs because it did basically everything I needed it to do. The only thing about it was pretty large scale, and I did find one of his video responses, somebody that put a video response to that video that had compacted it quite a bit, and I used some of their ideas as well. So I will cite both of those in the description for this, but this is what I came up for, and in all my looking I couldn't find a good tutorial on how to make something like this, so I decided to do that for you today, and that's what we'll get into next. So what I want to do is introduce the basic parts, how it works, and then we will jump into how to build one from scratch. So I will come with that next. Okay, here we are, and I want to go over the 2 major components. There's more to it than this, but these are the two main pieces. This is the dispenser for the key block, which is the dispenser the player is going to use to insert the item into the system. And this is the dispenser for the verification block, which is the one dispensed by the system to check the player's block. So with the key block dispenser, really there's only 2 objectives. We need to make sure that this is delayed slightly so the verification block has time to get in place before this item is dispensed. And secondly, it needs to be against the back wall. So against the back wall the dispenser takes care of because it pushes it forward, and it'll leave it against that back wall every time. And then in order to delay it, we bring this piston down for the same as this button pulse length. So we just add an extra piston up top, a sticky piston with a glass block to stop it. So what we get when we do that is push the button, it comes out, and it's towards the back and just drops in. So that's exactly what we need from that. And then for the verification block, this was part that I borrowed from the video response to SethBling's, is the stair and 2 blocks. It'll actually put it and float it right on the edge here, which lets anything that passes by this shaft, as long as it's against the back wall, will join up with whatever's there. So it makes it where those will stack, and it's very fast because it's a falling item. So the only alteration I made was I made these ice blocks, which occasionally will make it go crazy and get shot out the front. So what I did to stop that was I put a piston here as well that holds it back for just a second, but there's still current in there that can push it forward against that piston. So that keeps it from falling off, because occasionally they would fall off of the front of these stairs. It was rare, but it would happen, so I don't want that to be part of the system. So when we hit the button for this, it's just a matter, actually there's no button on it. Let me get one on there real quick. Let me get it on my bar, and we'll put it over here so you can see what happens. Goes out, let's see, it still comes up front and drops right down there. So we'll do that again. exactly what we want. Right on the corner, floating right on the edge, and the shaft would be right here. So anything that falls down, see how this gets pushed to that side because the shaft would go straight down? Yeah, it'll fall right where that is, so they'll run almost directly into each other. And stack if they're the right item. And if it's the wrong item, it'll just pass it by, and then it will hit this second pressure plate, which will tell us that we have an invalid block. So that is the basic premise behind the machine. The rest of it is just configuring the output right, and I will go over that in the tutorial. So after that introduction, we're going to jump into the tutorial, and I will build one of these from scratch. So that will be our next step. Alright, the first thing we're going to do is we're going to build the dispenser for the key block. And you do that by facing a dispenser inward, and then taking a half slab and putting it right on the top of that, so it sort of covers it but still lets it shoot. And then we want to take glass blocks on both sides. So glass block, and we'll come down one more over here. Then you want to put an ice block right there as the floor for that. And then we're going to take a glass block off the end of that twice, break this one, and we're going to put a sign on that. So let's take a sign, put it there. Then we want to enclose that with glass, and then we're going to take our green wool and put it off the end here and then step down. Now while we've got this, we want to put another glass block on this end, and then we need to put a piston up here. It's a sticky piston, which is the thing that delays it. So we'll put two, not like that, two there, and then place that like that. Then we're going to take the green wool, come down, come down, come down, make a little Y shape, and then what we're going to do from there is we'll take a water bucket, put it here, and then we're going to take redstone and we're going to put it around and down like so. And the key block dispenser is done. So if I were to put stone in there, I need to put a button on it, or we can't shoot it. So right there, and once I fire that, it should push it out, push it down, and drop off the edge. Exactly what we want to see. And then off the edge. Okay, so that is the key block dispenser. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to add the verification block dispenser to this, and then we'll move on with the shaft and the outputs. So we're almost there. That's coming up next. Okay, now it's time to build the item verification dispenser, and as a reference point, let's build down to the floor, except we'll go up one block from that to make the edge of the shaft, and then come back in an L shape. Then what we want to do is add a piston in that little crook that we made there, so let's do that, facing inward, because it's going to be hard to place that as we get the blocks here. Then from there, we want to take two green blocks here, and then step up like so. And let's go ahead and place the redstone on that while we're here. That's going to connect the piston, and then we're going to put the dispenser under here. So let's put the dispenser this way, then take two ice blocks, and we're going to make the floor there. And then we want to take from the end of that and put a stairs, which will catch the block. So I like stone stairs for some reason, stone brick, so we'll use that. Stone bricks there, and then to stop it on the end, we're going to use a fence post because that will hold up the pressure plates. So let's get a fence post, put it there, and go ahead and put our pressure plate, which I've got in there on the bar, like that. Let's take our two glass blocks and close that. Let's put one behind it, close that, and then we'll get our water bucket. Oh, I need to put that back, didn't mean to break it. Water bucket, put it on the end there, and then we will put two glass blocks over it. And that is basically that. So now if we put stone in here, and we've already got stone up there, we're already connected with redstone, this should fire and then stack. So let's hit the button, comes out, and they stack together. So that works well. Now if we change our input block from this to anything else, let's use grass. The grass should end up on the ground because it doesn't stack. So that's how we would detect it. So after that, we'll need to add a pressure plate down here and our output. So let's move to the outputs, and then that will be the complete machine. So that is our next step. Okay, the last part of this will be adding the outputs, and we need to add an additional pressure plate down at the bottom. This is below the stack. Well, let's get that in one more. Right underneath, and there. So that will cause that to fire. And then what we want to do to pick those up is we want to take an L shape here, and then we want to take our yellow wool and go here. Now we need this yellow output to be delayed by 1 tick because it takes a tick to fall between this one and that one. And then we'll take a redstone, put it there, and then we want redstone here. Now what this is going to do is we're going to drop a torch down onto that, so it will work as sort of an AND gate, except for this will be negated. And basically it'll tell us when this gets activated but this does not get activated to go ahead and power the output on. So I will show you how to do that. I need torches. Drop that down, that'll remain powered. And anywhere on this is acceptable for that, whichever direction you want to go. This whole thing is powered, so let's go send it out the front. And what we'll see here is we take, which I think we've still got grass in here, so this is an improper output, so what'll happen is this should not come on. So let's do that. Stacks in, doesn't come on. But if we put the right block in, expecting stone, comes down, stacks, and since this is not turned off, and this torch goes off, this torch will go on. So that's how it works. Anytime you put the wrong block in, this will be powered on, so this torch will not come on, and that is the basic operation. So this is the module, and from here you can do a lot of different things with it, including the way that we used it over there, and anything else you can dream up. So I hope that this was a good tutorial for you guys, and I hope it's something you can use, and we will see you later.